Kenny on the board is running around back there pushing buttons. I don't know what he's doing, but we're all here together. We've had some very serious discussions in the recent weeks. We were talking about human trafficking last Friday, and at the beginning of this program, what we say is the world is looking at El Paso. What will we say to the world? And very often, what people from outside the borderland perceived to be the situation here in the borderland is actually very different than what's actually happening. And today we have another serious conversation. We're going to be talking about the pro-life movement. We're going to be talking about what's happening since Roe v. Wade was overturned, and what's happening here in Texas, what's happening in New Mexico, and how all that comes together. And we have a very special guest with us. She has had 44 years in youth ministries, both with Salvation Army, Young Life, and Youth for Christ. She's now the executive director and CEO at the Westside Pregnancy Center. So without further ado, Kenny on the board, you're with us now. I can hear your microphone. Kenny.
You couldn't hear it before?
No.
Huh, okay.
Yeah, you're with us now.
Yeah, I could barely hear you. I just had to switch ports around and play with it.
Okay, were you excited for 915 Talk today?
Absolutely. I'm excited every week. It's somebody new.
Yeah.
And it's always somebody special.
Yeah, well, she is the unique expression of an endlessly creative God.
There is that as well. Like I said, I'm always going to let you say that because it's too much for me.
Yeah. All right. So without further ado, let's give a very warm Borderland welcome to the one, the only, Mrs. Deb Gray!
Thank you, Andy. Thank you for having me. What an honor. I appreciate it so much.
Yeah, Deb, really appreciate you coming in today. And we have a lot to unpack as far as what's going on with the pro-life movement.
We sure do.
What's happening with abortion, both here in Texas and New Mexico.
Yes.
You're the Westside Pregnancy Center, so you're on the west side of El Paso, close to New Mexico, and there's a lot happening.
There is a lot happening. We are busy people at Westside Pregnancy Center. We have been open since 2019 is when
2019.
we
I wanted to ask you about that because when I think of the pro-life movement, I think of growing up in church in the 80s, if I'm going to date myself a little bit.
You're a youngin'.
Yeah. and I think of the pro-life movement really being strong in the 90s, and a crisis pregnancy center that opened up in 2019.
We are definitely the new kids on the block.
That's unusual.
Yeah, there's God in his wisdom.
Okay.
Kind of put us there and started planning the vision and the mission probably in about 2016.
Okay.
It all started when a man named Mark Cavalier from Southwest Coalition and a Guiding Star came and talked to us about 40 Days for Life.
Okay.
And that's a really cool event. If you don't know about 40 Days for Life.
I don't know about 40 Days for
please.
Life. Tell me about 40 Days for Life.
Let me share this. This is so cool. We have several places right now, but it's for 40 days. Mm-hmm. And we try to have an unbroken chain of prayer from 7 and 7 for 40 days. Outside,
7 what?
7 days a week from 7 to 7 for 40 days.
7 a.m. to 7 p.m. is what you're saying.
Yes, for 40 days straight.
Okay. You don't do 7 p.m. to 7 a.m.?
No.
Okay.
No.
Gotcha.
It's hard to get volunteers out there at that time, but we're trying.
We could probably do that for a week.
We're trying. I know, right? We do have very committed volunteers, but it's outside of the abortion clinics.
Yeah.
Praying, just the unbroken.
So you're there just on the curb?
You are.
Okay.
You are. It's out at Santa Teresa right now, and then there's several
in New Mexico. So
in New Mexico,
not in Texas.
No, because there's no abortion.
Clinics
allowed
in
Texas.
Right.
But there's several abortion clinics in Las Cruces right now with another one being built.
Right.
And I want to talk about that.
Yeah, for sure. So we'll definitely get to that because, well, what I understand happened, and I say this quite often on this program, I'm new to America, so if I'm saying something wrong, let me know. But Roe v. Wade was overturned
2.5 years ago.
2.5 years ago, and the decision on how abortion was handled was left to the states.
Right, going back to the states.
Yeah, and so Texas banned abortion.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
But we're right here on the border, so maybe it doesn't matter? Or how would you define that?
You know, I feel like a lot of people think that since it's been overturned that we can just kind of rest.
Right.
And that's so not true. There's actually nationwide, there's an increase, like 11% increase from the time that it was overturned. New Mexico is even more so.
Okay, so you're saying since Roe v. Wade was overturned,
Yes.
there's an increase in the number of abortions in America.
Yes, yes.
11%.
11%, yes. And it just, it boggles my mind.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I mean,
We know-
but that's the kind of thing where I don't even know what question to ask.
well,
Right?
we are finding that the states that are have what am I trying to say? More abortion clinics in the state that it's still legal to have abortion. Let me talk about some of those, and then we'll talk about New Mexico.
Okay.
Okay. I come from Illinois, and
Right.
Illinois is one of the worst states as far as abortion.
Okay.
Bar none, New Mexico is kind of the worst in the United States, and really the whole world. Actually, it's kind of we'll get more into that. New Mexico's the worst.
New Mexico is the worst in the world?
Yes.
Okay.
From what I have heard, I might be wrong, but it's the abortion capital of the world. It's
Okay.
been given that name.
Okay.
Illinois, their abortion since again the overturn is up 71%. 71%.
Wait, hold on. You're saying since Roe v. Wade was overturned, abortion has increased in Illinois by 71%?
71%. In Virginia, it's 77. North Carolina, 44. But in New Mexico, it's up 370%. That blew my mind.
Right.
But they are building and opening more abortion clinics
In New Mexico?
in New Mexico.
Is it, I mean, I don't know if you can speak into this, but is it because of young ladies from Texas coming over?
That's 70% of
Okay.
their increase
Uh-huh.
is coming from different states that have the ban.
Okay.
Okay. With so many popping up, it does bring down the price of abortion. It's becoming more affordable.
Okay.
Okay.
What is the cost point on that? I've never even thought about that.
You know, it depends
I
on
always assumed that insurance doesn't cover abortion.
Some do.
Okay.
Most are private paid.
Okay.
It can range from $500 to $750.
Okay.
And then it can be a lower cost, and that's the abortion pill.
Okay.
Okay, but
Does a clinic administer that? Or
the abortion clinic, yes, it's a standing order with the doctor. The abortion pill.
Okay.
Let's talk about Las Cruces. There are
Okay.
3 abortion clinics right now with the New Mexico governor just allotted $10 million for a new abortion clinic in Las Cruces.
$10 million for so wait, hold on. The governor allotted that money?
The governor allotted
So that's state tax money going
Yes.
towards that?
Yes, it sure is. It
Well,
sure
for
is.
those of you listening on 89.3 FM in Las Cruces, I hope you're hearing this.
Yeah, I hope
Yeah.
so. I hope so too. It again, our work is not done. We're right there. And again, Westside Pregnancy Center. There's an abortion clinic in Santa Teresa. And we are exactly 3.4 miles from our doorstep to his doorstep.
Right.
And going back to that, that's how we started really praying about it when Mark Cavalier came and talked to us about 40 Days for Life and becoming part of that. And of course, we immediately said, we want to be part of this. But more importantly, what are some of your top priorities, things that you feel the West Side needs?
Okay.
And he's like, there are no pregnancy resource centers on the West Side at all. There are,
Really?
right, before us.
Okay.
Before us, there wasn't any
Okay.
place. And, it just broke our hearts to think that there were these girls going in every day to get abortions, and there were people to counsel them and talk to them on the sidewalks. They're called sidewalk advocates. But then the place that they had to send them was Clarion, Montana, to Guiding Star.
Okay, hold on. So a sidewalk advocate.
A sidewalk advocate talks to the girl as she's going into the abortion clinic,
Okay.
trying to get her attention.
So
just saying,
I might phrase this incorrectly, but it's someone with a pro-life perspective.
yes, and they're
Yeah.
younger girls, younger
Okay.
college girls
And-
that
and-
can identify.
And they're
her.
standing there on the curb.
They are.
And they're waiting for someone to pull in.
They are.
So they can intercept.
So they can intercept.
And that's legal.
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
I-
Very much within our rights to do so.
Okay.
We're not on his property. There's places, sidewalks and different areas that, and we do have lawyers that check this all out
Right,
and make
yeah.
sure that we're good to go.
Well, yeah, no, I'm just curious about all of this. Can I ask, so you see a girl pull in, you assume she's at least considering an abortion.
Yes.
She's about to walk into an abortion clinic.
Mm-hmm.
What are you going to say?
Just say, can we please talk to you? Can we please talk about the decision and give you possibly other options?
Okay.
And then, before Westside Pregnancy Center, to tell a girl, okay, now that you're possibly thinking about letting us talk to you, you have probably a 30-minute drive. We really needed someplace, and they can get to us very quickly now.
So you're saying, hold on just a minute. Let's have a.
Let's talk. Let's do a pregnancy test.
Okay.
Let's do an ultrasound.
Okay.
Let's just see where you are. Let's talk about adoption. Let's talk about some of the issues that you're dealing with.
Okay.
We can help.
So, where do you have sidewalk advocates as far as the West Side Pregnancy Center? Is it Santa Teresa or?
There's Santa Teresa, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
And with the one in Las Cruces, the Guiding Star and Coalition for Life have opened up a pregnancy center that's very close to the abortion clinics. There's also 2 other pregnancy centers in Las Cruces.
Okay. So, just a moment for those listening. I do want to remind you that, well, first of all, this is an incredibly important conversation. And we've dove right into it. We're with Deb Gray with the Westside Pregnancy Center. We are live right now. Also, besides being on the radio, we're on the KELP Christian Radio page on Facebook, and we're on KELP Radio on YouTube. And so, if you do have a question for Deb or a comment, you can use the comment section there, and we'll get to as many of those as possible. And if you believe this conversation is important, share that with other people. We also are streaming worldwide right now on KELPradio.com. So there's listeners around the world. So Deb, we're talking about, there's a pregnancy resource center. That's what we call it, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what
Yes.
Westside Pregnancy Center is. And you're talking about, many girls in El Paso, of course, are trying to decide what they're going to do with their pregnancy situation, and of course, being here on the border, it's very easy to make a decision one way or another. It's not the same travel distance as Central Texas.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So, before we go any further, what is a pregnancy resource center? Like, what are the resources?
Oh my goodness! I'm so glad you asked. When we started, it was mainly self test,
Okay.
pregnancy test,
Okay.
and giving out diapers and praying for the young ladies. Very important. But when I stepped in, we needed to do more. We knew that in Santa Teresa, he was doing the abortion pill. There is abortion pill reversal. A lot of people don't know that there is an abortion reversal.
Well, then maybe it's important to understand how the abortion pill works, because I'm flabbergasted that you can reverse it.
Yes.
So how does it work? It doesn't work
It-
immediately, or?
It blocks. There's a set of 2,
Okay.
and they're usually given within 72 hours of each other for
Okay.
the first one and the second one.
Okay.
And it blocks everything from continuing to provide nutrition for the baby.
Okay.
Okay, if they
So the pill is blocking nutrition for the baby.
yes,
That's what it's doing.
Again, it would be best to have a medical doctor to come
Yeah,
in
yeah.
and give you that. But if the girl starts to think about what she's done, and she can
With the
come
first pill.
with the first pill, we have a window of 24 hours.
Yeah.
That they can contact us. So we are on the hotline. They can contact us 24/7. And we bring them in. We verify that the pregnancy is still viable. We do an ultrasound, and we have it set up with a Christian pharmacy in El Paso called
Okay.
MedTime.
Okay.
And they are on standby, and they get us the medication.
So that will basically restore nutrition
Yes.
to the
Exactly.
babies.
If we get within that window.
Okay, so I just want to stop for a moment and point this out to our listeners. Most of our listeners are, in the church. They're, I hope, part of the community. I hope that they're building relationships with those who don't know the Lord.
Right.
And this is just good information for us to know.
It's important.
Yeah,
It's
if you have a relationship with someone who trusts you enough to tell you that they took an abortion pill
Right.
and it's been less than 24 hours, there's still time.
And that leads back to why one of the reasons that there's been an increase nationwide with abortion. The abortion pill is so easily accessible. You can order it online through the mail from overseas companies.
Okay.
Which is very, very dangerous. If we can get that word out, young sweet girl, if you're listening and you're thinking about this and you're going online trying to get this to you, they don't know how far. Well, first of all, there's no verification of the pregnancy. Secondly, they don't know how far along you are. And thirdly, they don't know if it's an ectopic pregnancy, which can be
What's the topic?
life-threatening. The baby plants itself outside of the uterus,
Okay.
like
Yeah,
on
yeah.
the fallopian tubes.
Right.
Those things are crucial. That
So
they know.
the young lady just feels like she's pregnant and she can order it and she can get it online. Is it possible to order the abortion pill from within Texas?
No, not. There's safeguards to get it from.
So you would have to order it to like a New Mexico address.
Right. And there is an abortion clinic in Las Cruces that the doctor has kind of a standing order for the abortion pill.
Okay.
And they can just kind of call in and say, I'm requesting, and it'll be given.
Yeah. Okay. So she can basically fill out the information online. The doctor will take her at her word without any tests and send her the pill. That's
Best to my knowledge.
Okay,
This
yeah.
is true.
Okay.
I do know for sure about the mail order. And,
Okay.
and that's just very scary.
But
Very scary
with a
for
mail
young-
order, you don't actually have to see a doctor.
No.
You're just describing your own symptoms.
Yes. And again, these are overseas.
Yeah, and
companies
you
that'll
can
send
describe
it to
whatever
you.
symptom you want, and they'll take you at your word.
Yes.
I assume.
Yes. And
Yeah.
the abortion pill can only be given up to 11 weeks. So
Okay.
that's crucial too.
Okay. So as a resource center, we're starting to learn a few of the resources.
Well,
Yeah.
but we had to do a medical conversion, which took a whole year and a half to be able to provide, the pregnancy tests that are read by an RN. To do the ultrasounds, we have the most amazing ultrasound machine, which thank you, Focus on the Family, for helping us
Oh, wow.
get that. And to be on the hotline and to provide the abortion pill reversal. We have an amazing medical director. We have a medical team that is just awesome. But we knew that was one of the missing links for us before having the conversion and being a medical clinic, a medical center, was to be able to provide that. Since in Santa Teresa, the only thing that he's doing right now is offering the abortion pill, where previously he was doing surgical abortions, but he switched it during COVID, and now he's just doing the abortion pill. So it was
So,
We
so it's
had
an
to be
abortion.
able to.
It's an abortion clinic that only provides the pill.
Yes, right now. Right now.
Yeah.
Now in Las Cruces, there is one. It's called the Pink House that will do surgical abortions up to 16 weeks.
16 weeks.
Yes, the other two are just doing chemical abortions.
Okay.
So
I don't know what that is.
surgical is bringing the baby out with the vacuum and
Okay.
different things. And
Yeah.
and we do know that, in New Mexico, I heard that it doesn't happen as often, stats say, but they will do partial birth abortions. It is legal to
So,
do
what-
partial birth.
So, I'm going to ask yet another dumb question.
No dumb question.
The only dumb question is the one that's left unasked.
That's right.
What is
That's
partial?
right.
What is partial birth abortion? What is that?
Where the baby is half out of the birth canal
Okay.
and they can still,
But is that 9 months? Is that what that is?
yes,
Okay. So they wait for the mother to go into labor,
yes.
and
And
then
it can still be.
okay.
Still.
Yeah, and it's almost like I want to apologize to our listeners for being graphic.
Yes,
But at the same time, it's
It's
the
needed.
reality of where we're at,
Mm-hmm.
what's happening right here. Last week we were talking about human trafficking, another very tough subject. But what we also talked about is we have 915 Pray here on KELP, and one of the things that seems to be a common theme is do not turn your eyes away from the problem. And that's what we do, unfortunately, as a church all too often.
Oh, we can get so comfortable in
Yeah.
our pew and just
Yeah.
sweep everything and they'll let somebody else deal with it. It's time for the church to be in action. We are
Right.
seeing so much through the pregnancy center.
Okay, so I have a difficult question about the church in action, but first we're going to take a break.
All right.
So we're here with Deb Gray from the Westside Pregnancy Center. We're talking about pro-life initiatives here in the borderland. We'll be right back. Do not touch that dial.
Another one is in the books. Cornerstone Broadcasting's Fall Share-a-thon for 2024 will be called a huge success. And it's, again, all thanks to you. Every year, we stop down and take a few days to humbly thank you for your help and ask if you feel like this ministry is worthy of another year of your financial support. This year, your approval is louder than ever. Our latest tally shows gifts and commitments of over $129,000 for the coming year. But we also know money is not the only gift. Your prayers for this ministry, our staff, our mission, and our future continue to sustain us. Our volunteers keep our hallways happy, and in 1,000 uncounted ways, your love for this ministry shows through. We put faces to names of new friends and hugged our old ones in our open house celebration after Share-a-thon was complete. Now it's back to work. The borderland is hungry for God's Word, and we have the tools to serve it up every day. Together, we'll try to share God's love with all of our neighbors and show them a place where they too can thrive. If you missed a chance to be part of all this, you can still contribute through the giving link at kelpradio.com. We look forward to the opportunities and the challenges God has planned for us all through our work together right here at El Paso's Christian station, KELP.
And we're back, and we are live this Friday, October 4th, year of our Lord 2024. It is 915 Talk, and we are with Deb Gray from the Westside Pregnancy Center, and we've been talking. It's a very difficult conversation, as we were talking about
It
before
is.
the break. It's probably a lot of you would rather have something more pleasant to listen to as you're going home on a Friday afternoon, but the Lord challenges us not to turn our eyes away from the problem. And you were talking about the church becoming active in the
Yes.
pro-life movement.
Yes.
What does active look like to you?
Active means we usually ask for three things from churches and just everybody kind of. First thing, we call them West Side Warriors. They're
Okay.
prayer warriors.
Okay.
We are nothing without prayer.
Right.
It's everything. Going before the Lord and just seeking His guidance and His wisdom. So we definitely need prayer warriors. Secondly, we need volunteers.
Okay.
We'll talk more about the resources, and I'll talk about different ways that you can jump in and serve with us. And of course, the third part is finances, and we definitely need help with finances.
Okay. So prayer, volunteering, finances. Let me ask you, how many girls come through your center in a week, or?
I can give you a little bit of a snapshot. Like in the year 22, we provided 690 services. Okay, that may be see girls for more than one thing. For
So I'm
more
sorry.
than one
Say the
purpose.
number again. I missed it.
690
In a year.
in a year.
In 2022.
Hey, and we're New Kids on the Block, 690. We're doing the happy dance. Okay.
Right.
In the year 23, we provided 2,919 services,
In 2023.
and we are well on our way to break that record. The need is great.
So girls come in. Are they mainly looking for pregnancy tests? What are they looking for?
I tell you what, every time that door opens, it's you never know. We were seeing an increase in abortion-minded girls and abortion-vulnerable girls.
Okay.
And we were we have them to fill out, like, how'd you hear us? Because we want to know about media, social media, and all this stuff. And they said, oh, we're here because the abortionist sent us here. And I was like, excuse me?
Yeah.
What? And they're like, no, he sent us here. Well, the more we talked about it, we found out he was sending the girls so we could do the pregnancy test,
save
the
him money.
ultrasound, save him money. Yeah. And you know what he didn't count on, and I love this part so much, what he didn't count on was the Holy Spirit meeting those girls. And us just being able, sweet girl, you're not by yourself. We got you. We're here. We're going to figure this out together.
Right.
And, you know, babies are being saved, lives are being changed, girls are coming to know Jesus. It's just a really cool, beautiful thing.
Wow. Okay, so you're seeing if you have 2,919 girls come through.
Now that might be for more than one services. We count those.
That's
okay.
fine. Yeah. It's several every day.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Just for, and, you know, we can also see that the economy, that it's tough being a single mama. And most of these girls are trying to do this alone. So we're seeing a definite increase. And we have the beautiful baby boutique.
Yeah.
And we accept donations. We run on donations with that, with diapers.
Right.
And we're actually hurting. If I could put out the plea right now, we are hurting for diapers.
Okay.
Just in one afternoon, and the majority came within a 2.5 hour span, we had 22 families needing baby items, help with formula, and diapers and everything. That was 22 families in 2.5 hours.
So you have, to be clear, what I understand from what you're saying is you have families that are struggling. And they've already had their baby.
Yes.
And you're supporting
Yes.
them in that decision.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
As long as they'll let us and they want us to walk with them, we will be there.
Okay.
You know, because that's one of the things that pro-choice people kind of blame the Christians and pro-life. It's like you only care about saving the baby.
Right.
Oh, we want to save that baby, but we also want to walk that journey and to be the hands and feet
Right.
of Jesus to that girl.
Yeah.
So as long as she'll let us, and that's one of the things. Just when I kind of took over, I would sit across from a girl and she'd say, "Miss Deb, I really want to keep my baby, but it would be." Finances, how am I going to do this? How am I going to do insurance? Well, we did research and we found out that we could become a site for Texas benefits. So we have the girls come in and we have certified navigators that help them navigate their application for WIC and SNAP and Medicaid and so on and so forth. So another thing would be, you know, Miss Deb, I would keep my baby, but I really don't have the education. I don't have the job. So we started, I haven't been this successful, but I believe the Lord always has a season. But we have everything in line, ready for them to do GED, ESL, computer labs, resume workshops, and dress for success.
What's missing?
Just the girls wanting to come.
Okay.
Just getting
Yeah,
the girls
yes.
in there, because we have the teachers, we have the equipment. We just, I think these girls, and we want to bring them into the center.
Mm-hmm.
We want to build that relationship. And, you know, I've talked with every person from the state of Texas and saying, you know, how can I do this, provide the services, but yet share Jesus?
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, you know, once you provide the services and they know that that's finished, you can ask, do you have prayer requests? How can we pray for you? Do you have a church home? And that's how we want to build those relationships.
Right. Okay. So what I understand you to say is you have everything set up for these single mothers in most cases to get a GED, but maybe they're not finding the time, or they're so
finding the
desperate
time,
to
or-
just make it through the day that they can't think.
You know, I think that
broadly.
might be it. And transportation is a real issue too
Okay.
with a lot of these girls. You know, but another issue that kept coming up and kept, you know, I would hear it from several girls is like, you know, Miss Deb, if I do decide to keep this baby and I tell dad or I tell my boyfriend, they're going to kick me out. It's really going to be an ultimatum between keeping my baby and aborting and
Like having a place to live.
having a place to live.
Okay.
And right now in the city of El Paso, there's not a whole lot of safe places to put homeless pregnant girls. With
Really?
the open borders
Uh-huh.
and not being vetted. And
Right.
the shelters are doing amazing, amazing work. The rescue
They're just bursting
mission,
at the seams.
They're just bursting. And to be, you know, we have vulnerable pregnant girls. You know, so the Lord laid it on our hearts about 3 years ago to start building tiny homes. So God has just
Well, it's trendy.
been
If
amazing.
nothing
I
else,
know,
it's trendy, right?
and I think that's kind of helped our cause because there's TV shows and
Yeah, yeah.
they're super cute. And a lot
Yeah.
of people's like, you know, I want a tiny home. So we started this project 3 years ago.
Okay.
And there's been a lot of obstacles.
Yeah. How does El Paso zoning feel about tiny home projects?
They don't like them very much, and I found that out. And but God is in control. And
Where did you put them?
Westside Pregnancy Center is located inside Westside Community Church
Okay.
on Sunset. If I can, I'd like to give the address now. It's
yeah.
201 East Sunset
Yeah,
Road.
yeah, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I know
And-
the spot.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we have the 3 homes right on the property. We are we are like 2 weeks from being completed. We just have, the city wants us to do a little bit more with ponding because we did have to rezone everything. We had to replat. We had to put in a sidewalk. If you know the west side from the police department down to Arduinos, it kind of fell on our shoulders to do this. But we had...
They're like, we will help you take care of children at risk, but first you have to build us a sidewalk.
Yeah. Yeah. That's kind of the way it's happening. But God is just, every obstacle that's been thrown at us,
Right.
He has definitely.
So how many you have 3 tiny homes right now, and ultimately how many tiny homes do you want? Or can you fit? You have like a field there next to the church, right?
We
Like-
do. We
yeah.
do. We're going to just take it one step at a time and see what the Lord does and how He provides. Again, that we need help with that.
Okay.
To finish it up, I would like to have the grand opening like the first weekend in November. We have girls calling every day, and it's just so very frustrating.
Now Sunset Drive, I know that area.
Yeah, Sunset Road.
Yeah, off, Sunset Road, off of Donovan.
Off of Donovan.
High-end area of El Paso.
Yes.
Do the neighbors complain about this, or?
They haven't. And that was part of what, with the city council's approval, we had to send out within a demographic and let
Oh,
everybody know that
okay.
our intentions.
And nobody came over and complained, or
Well, they had a chance to voice their opinion at City Hall.
But we were closed that day. No.
That's right. But praise the Lord, there was no opposition to it,
Okay,
which
yeah.
was fantastic.
And I know that we have listeners over there. So
Oh, come and see us. Come
yeah.
take tour because not only we still have the one obstacle with the ponding, but we are short on finances.
Right.
The like the estimate or the quote that was given to us 3 years ago.
Don't talk about finances right
Okay,
now, Deb. Just
I
tell
won't.
people to come over for a tour.
Oh, come over and
then
see
get
me.
them.
Yes,
Get
and then
them.
hook- yes, because they are the cutest things. They're just the cutest little houses. But again, excuse me. Yes. Come visit it. Let us take, again, you will be amazed. And I have so much to share. Just how God put everything together in such a beautiful way. We had the mustard seed at the church, and they have a beautiful garden. And they will provide.
What's the mustard seed?
The Mustard Seed is a cafe that takes care of the homeless and low income and shut-ins.
Are there any low-income people on Sunset Road?
Oh, there are.
There-
It's a
there-
misconception that
Oh.
West Side is just all
bougie?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Gotcha.
And that's another thing. The West Side Pregnancy Center, we have had the honor to open a free clinic. We have med students, we have medical doctors that take care, and at least once or twice a month, we take care of the ones that are not insured, and we provide them the medical care. And that was just part of the dream from the very beginning, to also provide care for our girls, just the continuum of care.
Okay. So before we went to the break, that was about 15 minutes ago, maybe 20 minutes. This conversation is flying by. I said I was going to ask
It's going too fast.
Yeah. I promised everyone I was going to ask a difficult question.
Okay.
So the difficult question is this. It seems like you're doing all these amazing things. You talked about the church becoming active. But even if the church was active, doesn't it feel like we're just losing anyway?
No.
Okay.
No. Let me tell you why. Last year, 29 babies were saved. This year, we have 14.
Mm-hmm.
We had 2 girls they accepted Jesus last week.
Mm-hmm.
One young lady at a time.
Mm-hmm.
If the church will just help me, that's one soul. No, it may look like we're losing, but we're going to win the battle.
Mm-hmm.
So, I just need churches to open up their doors to me, to let me just come and talk.
Yeah.
That's not as easy as what you think sometimes.
Right.
Well,
I don't think it's easy.
okay. Oh, yeah. You're a missionary. Yeah. So you feel my pain.
Yeah.
And again, we are seeing girls that are coming in that that their partners have beat them.
Right.
Or their husbands have beat them. We're seeing sex trafficked girls.
Mm-hmm.
We are not the easiest, to deal with. There are things that you just don't want to hear about. You just kind of want to live in your bubble. The church sometimes wants to live in the bubble.
Of course.
And we can't. We can't. The Lord is coming back. I don't know how soon or how far away, but we have to get moving. We have to get moving.
Yeah, I mean, of course, I asked that question, the difficult question, and I know it's, of course, I'm 100% behind your initiative, but I wonder if a lot of churches have just given up.
I hope not.
Yeah.
There's hope. There's hope in Jesus.
Yeah.
No matter your circumstances, Jesus is the answer.
Yeah, well, let me ask you kind of the same question, but a little bit more macro, a broader question. You said abortion has increased in New Mexico by what?
370%.
Since the overturning of Roe v. Wade.
2.5 years.
What needs to happen for that to change?
We definitely need to be more active. We need to.
In what way?
finances. Like when you're going up against a governor that will give you $10 million to start yet another one. You already have 3 abortion clinics, and this is to open up another one. We have to get in there and support those pregnancy centers that are, they're on the front line. They're right there, and it's a spiritual battle. Yeah. It's spiritual warfare. A lot of people don't think there is, but
I'm going to be. I'm going to say something that's a little bit dangerous.
Okay.
And it will be probably Kenny will get an angry phone call, or Tina in the office. I don't know. Mm-hmm. But it seems like voting the right way doesn't change anything.
It does.
It does?
It does
okay.
make a difference. It does. Just
in
look at
way?
Texas.
Yeah.
Look at Texas.
Yeah.
And I know we try to stay clear politically, but the governor did make a huge difference for Texas, even just starting with the heartbeat bill.
Okay.
And as soon as Roe was overturned, it was called the trigger law. As soon as it was overturned, we were a non-abortion state. So it does matter.
Yeah. So we need to be active in New Mexico. Is that the next thing, or?
For us it is. Mm-hmm. It's right there. I can throw a stone to New Mexico pretty much from where we are. So that's, you need to serve and love those people that are the closest to you, and that's where we are. And again, we need the help because we are kind of like the last place, because girls are coming from Odessa, Midland, Houston. They're all coming here, so they have to kind of go by us. And to get the abortion. So
is New Mexico the only state that borders Texas that is?
I should know this. Yeah. No, Colorado is.
Okay. Does Colorado border Texas?
Well. Okay, I just showed. Okay, you got me. No, but that is one that is the most accessible. To get to.
I'm joking, of course, but I actually thought of Colorado, and then I was like, oh, it doesn't border Texas, but all the other states are also have pro-life legislation that border Texas, and so the point being, my point is everyone's coming this direction.
They're coming this direction.
Yeah,
yes,
to New
because
Mexico.
it doesn't matter what term that you're in with your pregnancy. There's a place, and Albuquerque is definitely. There's so many abortion clinics there, and they do the.
Right.
Yeah, partial birth abortion.
Right. Yes. So New Mexico, we have Texas. I think Louisiana is probably also more pro-life. Oklahoma, of course. But then you have New Mexico, which is the polar opposite, and that's
right
and that's,
here. That's right. Yeah, and it's right there. And again, I've heard so many people say, "Oh, Roe was overturned, where we can kind of chill out now." It's so not true, especially where we are located. Okay. Being the border town.
Okay, so there's a bit more for us to unpack. Of course, we could be talking for I think hours on this subject.
Oh, I think so too.
Just a reminder, everyone. First of all, we're about to take a break, but just a reminder that we are on Facebook Live. We're on YouTube Live. Just look for KELP Christian Radio on either of those platforms. And if you have a question or comment, even if you don't disagree with what we're saying, we'd love to see that there. And we'll get to as many of those as we can as possible. Let's take a break. Kenny on the board. Do not touch that dial.
Another one is in the books. Cornerstone Broadcasting's Fall Share-a-thon for 2024 will be called a huge success. And it's, again, all thanks to you. Every year, we stop down and take a few days to humbly thank you for your help and ask if you feel like this ministry is worthy of another year of your financial support. This year, your approval is louder than ever. Our latest tally shows gifts and commitments of over $129,000 for the coming year. But we also know money is not the only gift. Your prayers for this ministry, our staff, our mission, and our future continue to sustain us. Our volunteers keep our hallways happy, and in 1,000 uncounted ways, your love for this ministry shows through. We put faces to names of new friends and hugged our old ones in our open house celebration after Share-a-thon was complete. Now it's back to work. The borderland is hungry for God's Word, and we have the tools to serve it up every day. Together, we'll try to share God's love with all of our neighbors and show them a place where they too can thrive. If you missed a chance to be part of all this, you can still contribute through the giving link at kelpradio.com. We look forward to the opportunities and the challenges God has planned for us all through our work together right here at El Paso's Christian station, KELP.
And we're back. We are back. Deb and I were talking during the break.
We were, yes.
And she was telling me about all the government funding she gets. Just kidding.
Oh, no.
And I missed us getting back to the program. So first of all, let me make clear, I was joking about government funding. You don't get any government funding.
No, we don't. We don't take, because they can control, and it's worked for other pregnancy centers, and they're doing great. For us and the board, we felt like it's just not for us, because they can control how and when you talk about Jesus.
Of course,
and that's
so
what it's all about for us.
Yeah, it's interesting. I always say things that I feel like are going to get me in trouble, but I say them anyway. Mm-hmm. It feels like there's different trends that churches get excited about and give to and pray about and throw their weight behind. Mm-hmm. And it feels like pro-life initiatives are not trending right now.
No.
And so
not so much.
And so I think this conversation is just a good reminder to church leaders out there that, you know, the job's not done.
No,
and I'm going to use this language. It might not be fashionable at the moment, but it's just as much on God's heart right now as it was in 1995.
Absolutely.
Right? And so normally we don't say this on this program. We aren't talking in these terms, but find Deb Gray, find Westside Pregnancy Center, have her come and speak.
Oh, I'd love to.
Yeah,
I would love to share what God's doing.
So,
yes.
Where do people find you, Deb Gray?
They can.
Of Westside Pregnancy Center.
Let me give you my telephone number and our website. Our telephone number is 915-703-3001.
Okay.
And our website is just westsidepregnancycenter.com.
westsidepregnancycenter.com. I think I can remember that. And even if I forget it, I can Google it and it'll come up. Westside
That's right.
Pregnancy Center.
Absolutely.
So tell me about, this is another thing we were talking about during the break. Tell me what's going on with adoption.
Adoption. Well, I love to talk about adoption because I have 3 adopted kiddos. So it's something that's very near.
You personally have 3 adopted children.
3 adopted kiddos, and we were foster parents in Kansas, and it's just something that's very near and dear to my heart. So, you know, that is definitely an option that we want to present to our girls because it's a very loving option. When I first stepped in, I was amazed that the size of El Paso did not have a faith-based adoption agency. So that became, you know, really one of my biggest focuses.
Why is that important?
That's very important.
That it be faith-based.
That traditional families. We were seeking Christian and traditional families.
So what you're saying is that if a girl comes in and decides to have her baby, give it up for adoption, you wanted to make sure that they ended up in a traditional Christian family.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes. So I kind of, like the song says, I searched the world over and was having a hard time to find some place that would partner with us.
Okay.
And the week, this was a Christmas present, the week before Christmas 2 years ago, I walked in and my office manager had a yellow Post-it note. And she goes, I think you're going to want to take this one. Uh-huh. So it was a message from Legacy Adoption Agency that's located in Dallas.
Okay.
And they were wanting to they had heard about us and see if they would be something that we could partner with. So they flew out in January, and it was just kind of a match made in heaven. And by the end of March, we have an office with Legacy Adoption Agency, and it's just truly a blessing.
Okay, so this would be another call to action, is if a family is considering adoption, that they can reach out to Legacy Adoption.
Absolutely, and you can get the information just calling the pregnancy center. We'd be
you're
more
in the
than
same.
happy.
You're officing together.
Yeah, that's so cool. Yeah. We're under the same roof.
You have a lot going on, Deb. I've
we
lost
do.
track.
I haven't even scratched the surface
You
of
have
what
you have
we're
the
doing.
Mustard Seed Cafe. You're building a sidewalk. You have tiny homes.
Well, let me tell you about another special ministry and a God story.
A sidewalk ministry.
Well, no, just another ministry. But we were approached by CPS workers and just there's...
What is CPS?
CPS is Child Protective Services.
Okay.
And part of the foster care system and everything. And they were starting a faith-based program called Care Portal, and they were trying to bridge the gap between foster care and churches and parents that were trying to be compliant to keep their kiddos.
Okay.
So when the need came out with CPS, and they would reach out to the churches to see if we had a crib or whatever the families needed to be compliant, we would be able to supply that need and to be able to deliver that and share the gospel with these families.
Okay.
Well, when we were talking, we were like, okay, sign us up right away. We want to be part of this. But what else is your needs? And they're like, we need places to put these kids. There's a shortage of families with foster care. So Pastor Joe Williams, he's the pastor of Westside Community Church, he and I were praying about it. He's like, why don't we take one of these classrooms? Because the pregnancy center is just classrooms put together. And
Okay.
so we...
It's like church classrooms.
church classrooms, Sunday
Okay.
school classrooms.
Right.
So we had one extra one, and we had built what's called the Jesus Suite. So we take in kids without placement when they've been removed from the home and there's no foster care available, foster family available. We take the kiddos in. CPS workers stay there with them. And
In the church?
yes,
Okay.
right in the Jesus Suite. It's like a really cool hotel room,
Okay.
a refrigerator, and I got a Walkman, the old-fashioned.
Wow.
Yeah, we're pretty cool.
Yeah.
But the thing about it is just, again, all the ministries work so well together. And I had the baby boutique, so when we get younger kids, I can supply and just the items that they need. And about a year and a half ago now, I walked into church and the associate pastor said, Miss Deb, you need to go to the Jesus Suite. And I said, let me put my purse down. He goes like, you need to go to the Jesus Suite. So I'm like, yes, sir. So I went in and I opened the door, and it was a 3-day-old baby
Wow.
that had been removed from the hospital and couldn't go home with mama.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, I know why I'm here. How may I serve you? Do you need diapers? Do you need wipes? And they like, well, little man has tummy issues and we only have a couple of scoops of
Mm-hmm.
formula left. Can you help us?
Wow.
But again, it had to be a certain type. They said, we need Similac, blue can, special label.
Okay.
I said, I don't think I have that. Let me check. I didn't. I said, give me a few minutes. I'll go get little man whatever he needs. By the time that I went and gathered my stuff, there was a lady ringing our doorbell and said, God sent me. It was a full bag of Similac, blue can, special label.
Wow.
And I went back to those CPS workers and I said, God just showed up.
Wow.
And I said, how much does he care for these babies that have no voice? And he loves you too.
Wow.
God is on the move.
You
God
hadn't-
shows up there all the time.
You hadn't even sent out a request?
No.
They showed up with the exact type of
The exact type in
formula.
a whole bag full.
A whole bag full.
A whole bag full. God moves
Love
like
it.
that all the time. All the time.
And his heart is for the children, and
His heart is
it's
for
it's
those.
proven through those moments.
Yes.
Yeah. Wow.
Yes. You need to
Okay.
come and volunteer and just come and see us and
Yeah.
and just watch God move.
That's
in
amazing.
A beautiful thing.
So we only have a few minutes left. It was fun just as we were talking. We just received a message from a lady who wants to get more information on how to volunteer. So
Oh, awesome.
we'll send that to her. Thank you, Angela. We'll send you that information.
Oh,
but for
absolutely.
for those of you who are listening,
Mm-hmm.
I know it's Friday afternoon. You're thinking about your weekend, but hopefully the
Mm-hmm.
Lord is using this to give a few of you pause. And just a reminder, it's Westside Pregnancy Service. You can find them, all their contact information at Westside
Pregnancy
Pregnancy
Center.
Center.com, westsidepregnancycenter.com, and the number again is
It is 915-703-3001. And again, there are so many places. I didn't get to scratch the surface with the things that we are involved in.
Right.
We offer emergency babysitting for these ladies.
Wow.
We had one of our board members that used to be a judge come in and say there's an increase in infant and toddler abuse, and we need to do something. So we implemented Mother's Day out right away, and the Lord was saying, crisis doesn't conveniently happen on Wednesday from 1 to 4.
Yeah.
So I started emergency babysitting 7 days a week from 7 to 7. They can get my telephone number, and we'll take care of their kiddo and give them gift certificates to get their hair done or their nails done, and they can just exhale, and we will help them navigate through their crisis.
amazing. Okay, so we only have a minute left.
Okay.
And just a reminder to those who are maybe just tuning in or just catching the tail end of this conversation, the Roe v. Wade was overturned, but that does not mean that the job is done. What Deb Gray has told us today is that abortion has actually increased in the United States since the overturning of Roe v. Wade, and actually in New Mexico it's increased by 370%.
Yes.
There's a lot of work to do, so let's get behind the pro-life initiatives that are here in El Paso, in Las Cruces, here in the borderland. Let's keep praying. Let's be active. Let's not turn our eyes away from this problem. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thanks again for coming in, Deb. It has been sometimes a difficult conversation, but I believe it's one that is on the Lord's heart. And just as we always say at the end of 915 Talk, love your city, love your neighbor, and give God all the glory. This has been 915 Talk.
You have been listening to 915 Talk on KELP Christian Radio. To listen to past recordings of 915 Talk, just visit KELPradio.com and click on the 915 Talk link. Until next time, love your neighbor, love your city, and give God all the glory.